once it starts, I'll just. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of the free data analysis training, which will last throughout the month of July. This is the second week. Last week was the first week, and last week we talked about SQL, how to install Postgres, and how to do some querying, how to do select and other stuff, and about data types. So the focus of this week will be on, we'll still continue with selecting, and we'll talk about how to filter when you are selecting, because obviously you probably don't want to select everything. I probably just want to select some things. So the things we'll be talking about today. So let me open my PGAdmin and share my screen. Sorry. Okay. So in the last class, we talked about select. So just to be sure that we are on the same page, can someone tell me? Okay, let me not share my screen now, or let me just take this down. So can someone tell me what is select? Like, what's select? What's select? Hello. 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 Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So, or probably let's do this. What we learned last week, or that was it last week? I think on Sunday. What we learned on Sunday. So, can someone just give a recap of what was taught on Sunday? Just like a recap of what was taught on Sunday, so that at least then we cannot talk about select or something like that. So, anyone?
Okay, hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, I watched the video. I was not around actually. I just watched the video on YouTube and saw how I thought about how to select, how to truncate, change some stuff using commands within the PGAdmin in SQL, and also another place where you purposely made a mistake by inserting name in place of location, and then you had to change it. But one concern I had was, after doing all this, how do you save your work? I didn't understand that part. Trying to save the whole work, or the whole, when you have given all the commands and run correctly, how do you save them?
Save. You do want to save your queries, or like,
so
is it saving your query? Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, your question, is it about you saving your query for later use, maybe saving it in a folder, or probably...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk about it in this class. So any other person wants to probably give a recap of what was taught?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't really remember much. I think I remember it, but I remember about the update under what? I'm thinking about the tools. I think the data manipulation tools. There's updates there where you can change your value in a row, like you're trying to replace a particular value in a row. So you also talked about truncate and some other things.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I think it's just, why I actually asked this question is just to probably know that at least we are following and we understand. So yeah, that's fine. You guys actually tried. So about the question that's, is it Mr. Daniel, what he asked? So to save your query, you probably come here I don't know. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes,
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 we
yes,
can see
yes.
Yeah.
you.
So is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So just come here. See, this is your PG admin. Just come to save files. Then to tell you where you want to save it. So the format is SQL. So these are queries that are already saved. First query, second query. Then you probably just type maybe third query. Third query. So this is like query. You can load it and then you just click on create. So if you look at this, you see file saved successfully, right? So you have already saved your commands. Then
Please
you
come
can use it
again. I
later.
missed that. Please come again. I missed that. I missed that.
Okay, you come
Please
to
come
this.
again. I
Yeah, sure,
missed
sure.
that.
So click on save as because I already saved this thing. That's why it's saying save as. So you could come to, if you look at this, you see that this is similar to your normal save icon in Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. You understand? So you just come here, click on this because I already saved it. That's why it's sending me save as. You know, most times when you already save a document in Microsoft Word, the next option is probably save as. But if you have a new document or a new document, probably the first thing that you see is save. But if you have saved it before, you see an option after save. You see an option of save as. Probably you want to save that in as a new stuff after editing it. Yeah. So you just come here and click on save. It's already the extension. Just remember what I just did was just to type third query or third query. So now what you just need to type is just like fourth query. I think fourth, if I'm right. I think this is the correct spelling of fourth. If I'm wrong, you can just correct me. So this is fourth query, and then you just click on create. So automatically, Postgres will give you the extension .sql. You don't need to put .sql, just like your normal Word document. What you just, when you are saving your Word document, maybe with Microsoft Word or any of the Word editor programming application, what you just need to do is just type the name of the file. So here now, I already have what's it called? I already created a folder called SQL queries. So that is why.
It's also come Marty. I don't know if I want to do
Hello,
this now.
hello, hello, Florence. Your mic is on. So so what if you look at this now? This is your part. This is the part that this thing will be saved to. I was actually the one that created this SQL underscore queries as a folder. So when you want to save, I think the first thing Postgres will ask you is where do you want to save this stuff. So I had to create SQL queries so that at least I would understand that, okay, this folder contains all my SQL queries. You understand? By default, you can save it anyway. So I just created a folder. So I was one, not like it's Postgres that created this for me. So I was one that created this SQL underscore queries. And then what you just need to do, what's the name of your query? What's the name of the file that you want to save? So when you just do fourth query, and then when you create, the format is .sql. You understand? So when you create it, it's already created. So you can open it. See now, you can open first query. I think what's first query save. So you can open this, select. So this is first query. So with this now, you can even share your query with people and stuff like that. So I hope you are following. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, we are
Yeah,
following.
I'm following.
Clear?
Oh,
Is it
following,
clear?
sir.
Yeah, is it clear?
Yes, very clear.
Yeah, okay. Sure. So in today's class, we'll continue with to talk about select. So last class, there's something we did not talk about. That is select distinct. I think we talked about it or something, but let me just go over it. So when you are selecting or when you are when you want to select distinct values from a particular table, take for instance, you don't want your values to contain repeated values. So you use what is called distinct. You understand? Remember, when something is distinct,
This
it's
one,
kind of like different. Hello, can you hear me?
this more clear.
Hello? Eh? Hello?
This way.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we are listening.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So now select this thing. Just like take for instance now. We have this name now. If you realize from last class, we have different names. Or let me even create this table again. Let me drop this table and create this thing again. Because let me create this table. Let me drop table customers. Because last class we were kind of
I
like
don't see your.
experimenting. Can you see
I
my
don't see your
screen?
screen, sir.
You can't see my screen.
No,
Uh,
we're always seeing the slides.
oh, seriously. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. So last class we were kind of experimenting with Postgres. So I actually inserted a lot of stuff. So let me delete the table, or let me drop the table and create a new one so that I can experiment with the distinct stuff. So like I said in the last class, you could just highlight this and just run it. Yeah. So query run successfully. Then so for customers. So customers will have a name, a var character, what will be the character? Let's say 100, because then apart from the name, I think we need to even talk about ID. Probably we'll talk about that one later. So the name, and for customers, they will have a name and probably their state, right? States or location. Let's use a location. We are creating the table again. So this will be a var character. This is something we did before, like we have done this thing before, so it's not like it's not something new. Email address. I will advise you write your code as I'm writing this, because the best way to learn is by writing. And let's give this email address 100. This will be 100. And then what again? I think let's just restrict ourselves to this. So let me run this. Okay. So let me insert into customers. Insert into customers. So for customers now, the name is Ido, right? Then location Ogun. The email address, let me leave this out because in last class we were talking about depth or the rest. And then for customers, let's run this. Then let me run this again so that we'll have a duplicate value. Yeah, sure. So now let me insert a random user. Let me insert a random user into this table. So insert into customers values. So let me use Daniel. Daniel is in this class. Daniel, where are you located? Are you in Nigeria or maybe London? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm in Nigeria for now.
Yeah. Where are you located? Like, are you in Ogun State or
Yes,
where?
I'm in Nigeria for now.
Okay. So like,
Abuja.
okay, Abuja. Wow. Very people. Okay. So let me just give this a random Daniel at code.org. I just want to, because we already inserted Ido twice. So yeah, so it's successful. Then let me just change this to maybe, I think, Florence. Or how did they spell Florence again? Florence. Am I correct? Is this correct? Hello?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
correct. It's correct.
Okay. Saying Florence is in Benin or something like that. Then go at telco.com. Yeah. So in the last class we talked about select, right? So let's select from this table now, from table customer. So let's select all from customers. Why is this entering an error? So yeah, now what happened with Florence on? Okay, I did not run this. Okay, so let me just run this. Yeah. So okay. So now let's select from all customers and then let's see. So if you select all now, sorry, there's a mistake. So if you select this now, you see that you have dual name, you have Ido, you have Danny, you have Florence, and you have their email address. So now you want to select all the customers. Probably maybe there was a mistake, or you just want to count the numbers of customers in your database or in your table. You can use something called select distinct. So when you do select distinct from customers, if you look at this now, you are telling that okay, I want to select all, but let it be distinct. So Postgres will filter out values that are duplicates. Remember when we just did select all, when we did select all, what happened? We select all, you have your name. Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, I'm back. So if you look at what we did select, remember Idowu Lekura was came out twice, right? Like it was duplicated with the select system because select all, select everything. But what if you want to have like a distinct, you want your values, you don't really want repeated values or you don't want repeated names. So you can do select all, but before the all, you do distinct. I think there's someone eating in the background or something. Or someone is eating, either someone is eating, someone is walking or something, something. Hello, if you are not speaking, someone is someone. Mr. Mabiodu, Mr. Abiodu Akintunde or something. Hello, can you turn off your microphone? Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. So when you do select distinct, so now you're telling Postgres that okay, I want to select everything, but I just want distinct values. Remember, when you talk about distinct, it means that okay, when someone is distinct, that means probably in that environment, everyone is into corruption, and if someone is distinct, that means the person is not into corruption. That means the person is different. Yeah. You understand? So distinct is kind of like you telling it that okay, I don't want repeated values. I just want each now, you're just picking one. So if you look at it, when we did select all, it was the do Lekura. But when we did select distinct, when we did select all, we had two names, but when we did select distinct, we just have just one. You understand? So you do Lekura, Danny, Florence. So is it clear? Is it clear? Hello? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
if it is clear, then can you explain to me what's the difference between select all and select distinct? Or what's distinct doing?
Okay. This thing makes any double value becomes just one.
Yeah,
Why,
sure,
if you do
sure.
select all, it brings out all the customers. But I want to ask
Yeah,
a
sure.
question. This star that's showing there,
Yes,
where does
yes.
it come from?
Okay, star is kind of like a symbol for select all. So you are telling Postgres that okay, I want to select all. So if you even in
Okay.
most programming language, star is kind of like it's called white card. Yeah, I think white card or white cards or something. So it's kind of like it picks everything. Like it's a greedy search. Even if you have done some little programming, or maybe you have done little regex, regular expression, you understand that star kind of like means everything. Like it's kind of gets all the values if you're using it to match a particular pattern. So star is like, okay, select, or you could use just select name if you want to select the name. So now you're telling that, okay, select all the columns from this table. So that is when you do select all. But if you do select name, that means you are just specifying the column, because remember, Postgres works with column while Excel works with rows and with cell. Excel works with cell while Postgres works with what is called columns. So when you do select name, you are just selecting the column. But when you do select all, you are telling Postgres that, okay, please select all the values, all the columns in my data. You understand? But if you have, we'll talk about limits here. So I think did I prepare a slide for limits? Oh, okay. Let me just talk about limits here. So take for instance, let me talk about limits. I did not prepare something with respect to limits, but remember, if you have, let's take for instance, now you have about 1 million rows of values in your table, and because you just want to view, because most times you use select to kind of view your table. You understand? Like, okay, look at your table, look at what is inside and stuff. But take for instance, imagine if you have a lot of values, let's say 1 million. If you are doing select, imagine, like, because you can't even see all the rows if it's 1 million, like you can't see all the rows. And why waste resources when you know you are not going to use it? So most times there is something about limits. So when you do select distinct, or you could limit it to maybe the first value. So when you do limits, so look at this now. Your limit now just tells you that, okay, it should just return the first value. So limit is like return the first value. So that is just kind of like to limit your values, and you'll probably be using it. So limits, remember when you talk about limits, maybe it's just that in Africa we don't really value, or we don't really use speed limits. But I think in America or UK, if you pass, or if you drive beyond the speed limit, you might probably go to jail, you understand? Or even if you don't go to jail, you'll be fined, you understand? Like you you have to bail yourself out. You understand? It's just that in Africa we don't really follow the speed limit, and people just rush anyhow, you understand? Um so limit is kind of like, okay, you want to limit the operation. So take for instance, if you have 1 million rows and you just want to view the 5 rows in your, what's it called, in your data on your table, what you just need to do is just to do limits. So you just do limit 1. Is it clear? Is it clear?
It's not
No, it's not
No,
clear.
it's not clear.
No,
Okay,
it's
so
not clear.
yeah, sure. So look at this now. You have
Yeah.
select distinct all from customers. So when you run this, remember this is 3. You have 3 rows. So when you do limit 1, that means you're telling them, okay, out
Please,
of these 3,
before you continue, please. Hello. Before you
yes.
continue, I notice you're not highlighting. So that's select this thing from customers.
Okay, this is it. Okay, yeah, sure. It's because why it's running is because I already commented all this out. So Postgres will only run this. I don't know if you get.
Okay. Okay.
But if I probably
I
add something,
understand.
maybe if I comment this now, if I uncomment this, this is what Postgres will run, like the last one. So you can
Okay.
actually highlight this, because when you comment something out, like Postgres will not run it. Like it's just like normal. Like Postgres will assume
It's
it
just for
doesn't.
explanation.
Eh? Hello?
When you comment it, it doesn't run. It's just for
Yeah, it
explanation,
doesn't
right?
run. Yeah, it doesn't run. Yeah. Comment is common to all the programming language. Like, yeah. But in Python, I think you use hashtag, yeah, to comment. Yeah.
sorry, I'm not following. Hello.
Yes.
I'm not following. Like my network has been going off and on.
Yeah,
So
sure. We
I
have not really, yeah, sure. We have not said a lot of things, so don't be worried. So what I just did is
you said something
I
about he said something about select that I didn't exactly get. And now you're talking about running, maybe highlighting.
Okay. Yeah, sure. No, no problem. No problem. Sure, no problem. So what I did first of all was to create a table for customers because remember in last class, I think on Sunday, we were just doing experiments and we were adding a lot of stuff, and I kind of like corrupted the values in the table, so I had to drop it. Can you hear me now, Antoinette?
I can hear you.
Yeah, sure. So I dropped the table and then I created a new table and inserted values into it. You understand? So I inserted my name twice and then inserted Daniel's name and also inserted Florence's name into the table. So, and then I was saying something about, remember when you just look at something like this, when you do select or, remember in the last class we talked about select or, and then let's do from customers. So when you do select or from customers and then you run this, you look at this, you have duplicated names, right? Sorry, you have duplicated names. Like the names here are occurring twice. For Ido Ilekura is occurring, Ido Ilekura Ogun, Ido Atita code, and then Ido Ilekura Ege Ogun, Ido Atita code. So take for instance, you want to count, because we will still talk about arithmetic functions, mathematical functions. Take for instance, you want to count all the numbers of customers, or you want to get the number of customers in your, probably, and you were just program something, you have a website that collects information from your user anytime they buy something. Because because the program every time, probably I visited your shop or visited your website 5 times in a day. That program will collect my details 5 times and populate it into customers table. But how can you count the numbers of customers? Imagine if you just counted all the customers, you'll probably be in fantasy, because you probably, maybe you only have 10 customers. Maybe your product is very good and you have people coming every time to buy, but you don't really have, maybe out of those, it's just 10 people that are your customers, but because they are becoming always often, maybe at the end of the month, you probably just wanted to get the numbers of customers that came to your website. If you just do select all and probably do counts, we'll talk about counts, but don't worry about counts. Just know that, okay, to count something in Postgres, you use counts. So if you want to count now, maybe you just do count and then you are seeing 1 million rows. You'll probably be thinking, oh, my business is doing fine. And then you might probably want to pitch to an investor that, oh, I have 1 million customers. Whereas you only have, what's it called? You only have 10 customers. So select, or we just select everything from your row. But when you do select distinct, so before you select, you can just do select distinct. Remember, star is like asterisk or star, and then this star or asterisk or something. This asterisk. So asterisk is kind of like, okay, select all from my table. So you're like selecting all the columns. So you just do something like select distinct, select distinct. Oh, sorry, distinct. Yeah. So select distinct all. So you're telling me, okay, select all from my table. But this is a constraint for the program. Like, okay, select all, but select only unique values. Yeah, just think of distinct as unique. So you want to select unique values from your row. What are you going to do? Just do select distinct all from customers. So when you run this, just highlight this and then run it. So if you look at this now, if you look at this, you see that we only have one Idowu Ilekura. Whereas when you use select all, you have Idowu Ilekura, you have Daniel, and you have Florence. So that is just the thing about what's it called?
I can't see your screen though.
Can you see my screen now?
No.
Yes, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen now?
I
Hello,
can see
can you
it.
see my screen? Yeah, sure. Maybe it's network.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Yes,
network.
sir. I think on my own end too, there's a lag because some things you have said, the thing is just appearing, something like that.
Wow, sorry. Probably it's network. But can you hear me now?
Should I go off and come back? I
Yeah,
can
sure.
hear you.
Maybe. Sure. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello. Hello. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Is it clear now? Oh, Mr. Daniel. Okay, I think
I'm not sure I can
everyone's
see.
network is good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I think
not sure.
everyone's network is good. It's green. So are we clear with the distance? So Antoinette, hello Antoinette, can you hear me?
Yes,
Is
I can.
Antoinette? Yeah, sure. So is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah. So I said something again about limits. So take for instance, you have 1 million rows. Yeah, like I was saying. So take for instance, you run a website. Probably for the website, you have a backend that stores what's it called? The information of customers. Maybe you sell cake because I think virtually all the ladies on WhatsApp most times, or let me say some ladies, they sell cake and stuff. You understand? Cake, they make up cream and just as you're a lady now and you sell cake.
Beautiful. Hey.
Take for example, cake and a web developer to build a website for you. And then most times when you build a website, you don't just want you probably want to build the front end. Sorry, you probably want to build the front end and the back end. So let me just deviate a little bit. So for some person that were not really or that are not really conversant with what's called back end and front end or graphical user interface and command line. So your front end is just like your GUI, just like your Postgres admin, and then your back end is what happens behind the scene. For backend developers, they can actually access your website without going to Google and search for your website and click on it. So that is just the thing. So take for instance now, you sell cake, maybe anointed cake or anything or any name that you call it. Or you sell earring. I think what ladies say earring, cake, clothes, bags, and the rest. So take for instance, you're very wealthy, and then you recruited the service of a web developer to build a website for you. And the truth is, probably maybe your cake is very good. Your cake is very good, and your customers probably order for cake, maybe cupcake. Cupcake is very small, so maybe every time they order for cupcake, maybe in a day, 5 customers can actually order 5 times from your website. So now, as customers are coming to your website, because there's a program that collects their details and what they buy and their location. So what happens is your database is being populated every time your customer visits your website. But imagine now, let's assume at the end of the month, you want to take, maybe you want to do analysis and you want to know the numbers of customers in your that have visited your website in a month. The truth is, if you just select all from your table, you probably will get, let's take for instance, you have 1 million customers from the rows that select returned. When you see 1 million customers, you might be very, very excited and be like, oh, I think I'm making it. And then you quit your job. You understand? Maybe you quit your job and then probably you now want to go and pitch to an investor that, okay, I have 1 million customers because you just did select, whereas you only have 10 customers. You understand? So that is the danger of you just relying on select. But when you do select distance will only give you, because you already have, there's something that select distance you use to filter out. So now, first of all, to use the first column to filter out data. So now here we have, when you use just select all, if you look at select all, you have, what's it called? You have Idowu Ilekura, you have Daniel and Florence. But when you do select, now imagine if you have 4 customers, now you think, oh, I have four customers, whereas you only have 3 customers. Probably you do visited your website twice because maybe your cake is too good or your cake is too palatable or something, or it's very good or something like that. But in reality, you only have 4 customers. So distinct helps you like it gives you the unique value. Like it helps you to select unique rows. And what it used to filter, it's the name, like the first column, because we have name here. So it checks Ido Ilekura is the same. So it automatically removes the second value and picks the first one. So that is the thing. So when you run select distinct now, let's say select distinct. When you run select distinct, and then when you highlight this, and then you run it, what happens? You only see Ido Ilekura. That is the first one. And then Daniel, then Florence, and the rest. Is it clear? And then I talk about limits. So take for instance, you have 1 million rows and you want to select distinct customers. You don't necessarily want to display all the rows. So what you do is probably do limits one. Remember when someone says there is a limit. When there's a limit, that means you have a restriction, you understand? like speed limits. And one of the example I gave was in Africa, we don't really obey speed limits, but probably in West Africa countries, or sorry, in Western countries like US, London, and the rest, they kind of obey speed limits. So when you have speed limits or maybe 30 kilometers per hour, even if you are late to a place, to an occasion, or the rest, you probably be able to obey the limit or the speed limit. If you exceed the speed limit, you probably go to jail. So limit is kind of like a constraint that limits the operation. So instead of select returning all the rows from your table, to really return just the limit that is set. So let's say its limit is 2. That means you're telling that okay, select all, but limit this thing to just 2. Give me just the first 2 rows. So when you do select, so you see now you have just Ido and Daniel. So let's take for instance, you just have 1, and then when you do 1, it's just Ido with Lepra. So that is just everything about select. And again, you can highlight it maybe for those that are conversant with highlighting, so you can highlight this stuff. So that is all. I think it's clear, right? Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
following.
Yeah. Sure. So any question? Hello. Any question? Hello. So I would like someone to, if you understand what I've just said, just explain to us. I will close my PG admin. Why I'm actually doing this is because I want people to understand. The truth is, the training is not really to teach you everything, but at least, like I said, if you understand the fundamentals of these stuff, you can learn anything. The truth is, why people fail or why people don't learn programming is because they fail to learn the fundamentals, and then they want to learn the advanced stuff. So we are not really about speed. The training is not really about speed. If not, I would just be saying a lot of things, and I will not really care if you understand. But the training is actually for you to understand. You can learn any other thing once you understand the fundamentals of anything. So I want someone. Oh, I said I would drop my. So let me drop my page. So drop my PG admin. So I want someone from the class. Sorry. I want. Sorry. I want someone from the class to probably raise their hand and speak. Oh, hi class. Anyone have issues with sound? No, no, no. I think sound is. Sorry, I
Let me
think sound
try.
is clear, right? Yeah, sure. You can try.
Yeah, it's clear now, but it was breaking before.
Oh, sorry. I think it's network. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. So can you try? Who wants to give it? Just try. There's no wrong answer. There's no right answer. Just you trying.
Okay, let me try. Okay, first of all, how can I make my screen as small as your own? I mean, the interface. Like my
Uh,
wordings are very, very large, so we want to reduce the zoom so that everything could be showing.
okay. So what you just do is when you do your share screen, when you want to share your screen, you probably click on entire screen and then you share.
No, I'm videoing from my phone. I'm using my phone for the meeting.
Yes, I don't know. Like you want to do what?
I'm using my phone
Yeah,
directly.
like can you come
So I'm
again?
videoing my system. I'm
Okay,
videoing my
no,
system.
no, don't
Just
worry. Don't need to video. I'm recording.
that's the only way you'll be able to see what I want to show now.
Oh, okay. No, no worry. Just try to speak without showing me the video or showing me the screen because you're not using your system. It might be hard seeing. Just like recap on what I've talked about, like select these things, what's the difference and stuff like that. And limits. Oh no, talk about limits. I think it's someone has talked about these things. So talk about limits. What does limit do? Like in your own word, like hello? Hello? Or do you have an issue that you want to show me? Or I don't know.
Hello.
Yeah,
You have an issue?
me.
Yes, because you said you wanted to show me something.
No, I don't have any issue. You were asking if somebody could show what you have just done, if somebody could demonstrate it.
Okay, but since you're using a phone, I don't think it will be easy for you to demonstrate because I think someone tried it then. I think that was in the second class or thereabouts, and it was not really too clear.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So any other person that want to demonstrate?
I think with their limit, you know.
Yeah?
I think with the
Yeah,
limit, I thought you wanted someone to speak on or
yeah.
about the limit.
Yes, and probably if you can demonstrate it,
Yeah.
it's possible.
You know, I've not launched my PD. I mean, I was just listening, taking note of what you are doing.
Okay, okay. So anyone with their
But
PG and me open.
okay,
So anyone with their PG and me open that want to demonstrate. Okay, no problem. Maybe let's just continue. Okay, so yeah, we talk about, I think in the last class we talk about where. So where class is just like I've talked about where, so let me just give a little recap about this stuff. So where clause is just like you are selecting all from this column, from this table, and then you want a condition to be met before you select. So take for instance, let me open my PG admin. So now we want to select from customers. So we want to select all from customers where let's take for instance where name is equal to, okay, I think there's a way you can be equal to is equal to do so equality sign is like this. Yeah, I think I'm right. Oh, sorry, this is inequality sign. So yeah, I think equality sign is just like this. So let me run this. So yeah, sure. So what you are doing here is just like, okay, you are selecting all from customers, and then you want to only select values that meet a particular criteria. So what will happen is let me just remove this where clause, and then what will happen is Postgres will go to your table, and then because there's a where clause, because the truth is the select statement is the last thing that Postgres will run. Postgres will probably go to a lot of stuff and then probably see before it comes to this select all. So okay, it says select all from customers where. So now Postgres is okay, there is a condition that kind of constrain sorry, kind of like there's a condition that kinds of constrain Postgres. So now when you say select all from customers where name is equal to Idowu Lekura, so what you're telling Postgres is that, okay, go to my table, go to my column name, search for names that are kind of like have the same name as Idowu Lekura. You know, when something is equal, equality 50 kg. I think there's this analogy like 1 kg of air is the same thing as 1 kg of stone. Yes, and it's just that people used to misinterpret it and think 1 kg of stone is heavier than 1 kg of air. The truth is 1 kg is equal anywhere, anytime. As far as on Earth, probably if you go to Mars, you can, maybe it might be different, or space. So when you're trying to check if a value is equal to another value. You understand? So you are checking if Idowu Lekura is equal to Idowu Lekura. So what Postgres will do is just think of it as it will come here, and then can you see my cursor? Can you see my mouse cursor? So Postgres will come here and check, okay, Idowu Lekura, this thing is equal to Idowu Lekura, true. This other rule is equal to Idowu Lekura, true. This is Danny, is not equal to Idowu Lekura, false. This is Florence, it's not equal to Idowu Lekura, false. So it will remove these two out and then give you only this. So that means when you now do what? Select all. Remember, you have select all from customers. You can't write select all and then write where before from, because Postgres doesn't know where it's going to before you even tell it. Imagine you just tell someone, okay, I'm taking you somewhere. Like the person be like, where? You probably tell the person maybe, okay, we are going to this place. Okay, we are going to Ghana, or we are going to London. Then you cannot tell the person, okay, in London, maybe we are going to, is it O2 Square, or maybe in US. Okay, we now tell the person, okay, we are going to White House. But you can't go to White House without telling the person, okay, I'm going to London, or sorry, I'm going to US. You're saying, you can't tell the person, okay, we are going to White House where? Or you can't tell someone that, okay, we are going to Aso Rock without telling the person that, okay, we are going to Abuja. And then in Abuja, we'll probably now go to Aso Rock. Where Aso Rock? We are going to Aso Rock. So the where condition is kind of like constraining you. So when you are going to Abuja, you know that you are going to Aso Rock. You are not going to any other place. You are not going to any other place in Abuja, maybe Kubo or the rest. You're only going to the government house or Aso Rock. So the where clause is kind of like, it kind of constrain you with a condition. So if the condition is met, then so it only retrieve rows that have a true condition, like where the condition is true. So when you say select all from customers, and then you have where name. So the truth is, in Postgres, the column name you reference when you are doing the name, or when you are doing your where clause, you probably want to use a column name because it's a column name that you use to filter out, or any column name that you use to filter out. So you can do where name is equal to Idowu Ilekura. You can also do or name is equal to, maybe let's say, Daniel. So now when you run this, what will happen? What will happen? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. If you see this, what I was doing is using Python syntax. Sorry. In Python, to do equality, to test for equality, you probably use what's it called? Double equal to. Yeah. Sorry. So let me rerun this. Yeah. So when you look at this, so remember you can use or. So or, when you talk about or is just looking for whether true or true. But now let's do and. True or false is true, you understand? So it will filter out values that Idowu Ilekura is true and the name is Daniel. But now let's do and see what this is. Are we following? If you are not following, just turn off your microphone and speak up. Like, if you look at this now, there's nothing that, because this and you are saying, okay, where name is Idowu Ilekura and name is Daniel. But in our table, remember, we don't have anywhere where we have Idowu Ilekura. And also where name is also Daniel. It's even impossible. Imagine, it's just like someone telling you, you are a man and you're also a lady, or you are a man, or you are a male, you're also a female. Though, even for those that are even, let's say those that claim binary or stuff, I don't really think they refer to themselves as male and female at the same time. It's kind of not really, it's not really proper. You understand? Yeah. So it's rare for you to have, like, to be this and that at the same time. It's just like when they say you can't eat your cake and have it. You can't eat a cake and still have that cake. You understand? So and it's like, okay, and is this thing true and true? If it is not true and true, then it is false. So all the values, because there's nowhere you have your name as Idowu Ilekura and your name as Daniel. That is why it returns false. I know it might be confusing because you may think, okay, we have a name of Idowu. Okay, now let me remove this where clause so that I know the confusion might arise from people like thinking, okay, we have in our table what's called Idowu Ilekura, we have Daniel, we have Florence. So what you are doing is you are trying to check, okay, is name equal to Idowu Ilekura? Postgres will say, okay, true. Is name equal to Idowu Ilekura? True. So when you do name is equal to Idowu Ilekura or Daniel, so you come in again and say, okay, is name equal to Daniel? True. Yeah, true. So is name equal to Daniel? Florence is not equal to Daniel. Neither is Florence equal to Idowu Ilekura. So this is false. False values are excluded. So any value that returns to that is false will be excluded from your value. Just like if you have probably gone to a VIP event and then maybe they have a criteria for you to enter. Probably what they are just checking is, okay, does this person have the invite? Yes, let the person in. If you don't have the invite, sorry for you. Even if you try to smuggle yourself in, if the bouncer catch you or if you are caught, sorry for you. You understand? So I'm just trying to use the illustration so that you probably understand, and I'm trying to drive home the point. So when you do select all from customers, so this is your where clause, where name is equal to Idowu Lekura or name equal to Florence. Oh, sorry, Daniel. So when you run this now, this will come out. And then you can wrap this inside a knot. So let's run this. What will happen? If you look at this now, what's happening is because you put where not now, but let's do something like this. Let me put it inside a bracket and see if it will work. So if you look at this now, and that's why most times it's good for you to put your expression inside parentheses. Remember, when I did not put parentheses, what's happening? Postgres is telling you that okay, where not name. So what's happening is when you say where name is equal to this, the not of something. Okay, this might be confusing to you guys, so let me remove this. Let me do this again. So when you do where not name is equal to the Ulekra, what's happening is bringing Daniel Florence. So this thing is kind of like a negation. So for those that have probably done, I think is it some mathematical stuff in secondary school. There's something called negation in further mathematics. You have negation, you have true or false, you have false or true, and then when you negate something. So when you negate something, it's like you're telling, okay, when this thing is not this. So remember, when you do this, Postgres will tell you, okay, we give you the values where name is equal to the Ulekra. So when you put not, you're telling that, okay, go to give me values that are not, that the name is not equal to the Ulekra, that the column name is not equal to the Ulekra. So when you do the not, what's happening? Postgres will do what? Postgres will negate your results and then probably just give you Daniel and Florence because these are the names that don't have the Ulekra. So are we following? Because what is happening is Postgres will first of all go here and say, okay, where name is equal to the Ulekra? True. But with your not now, sorry, your not will kind of negate that true. So when you have false times false will give you true, right? Negative times negative will give you what? We give you what? We give you negative. You understand? Negative times positive will give you negative. So in Postgres, so false times false, not times not times false. But when you negate a false statement, it is true. So when you say, okay, you are not a lady. If you are a man now or you are of the male gender, you are not a lady. So the answer is false. So when you now negate, you are not a lady because you are not a lady is false. Let's say, oh, let me use this for ladies. Let's take for instance as a lady now, you are not a man. You are not a man is what? Or are you a man is false. But when you now negate are you a man, it will result to true because if you are not a man, then you are not a man. But if they say, are you a man? It is false. But if you say, are you not a man? If you're a lady, that means if you're not a man, then that means you're a lady. Like, let's just assume, without talking about LGBT or binary or any other thing, let's just assume we are dealing with just two genders. So let's just assume we are dealing with just two genders, like male and female. So when you say, are you a female? If you're a man or you're a male, the answer will be false. But when you say, are you not a female? Then that means, because you are not a female, obviously you say, yes, I'm not a female. So they not negate your statement. So I think it's kind of clear. If it's not clear, just let me know. And maybe you have any question. Is it clear?
Hello. Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's clear. I'm getting you. I just want
It's
to
clear
share.
for me.
I want to share my screen so that I can get to this point where you are. Because
Okay.
since I installed my PG admin, I don't know how to get here. Is
You
that
also have
okay?
issues? Yeah, sure. Let me
No,
stop
I've
sharing.
installed it.
Yeah, sure.
I
Share
just
your
want
screen.
to get to okay. Okay, so how do I share this? Okay, yeah.
Okay, so just go to, you see something like an arrow that I want to leave a box. Okay, yeah.
It's sharing now, right?
Yeah, sure. So go to your, if you're using, I think you're using Windows, right? But it's kind of
Yeah.
blurry or something. It's not really clear. Probably
Oh,
your network is bad or something. Okay, now so go to click on that type here to search or type here to search. Just click on that type here to search and then type PG admin. Yeah, sure. Click on PG admin. No, leave it. I think it's just it will come up. Yeah. So yeah, you're already here now.
Yeah, so like that interface I'm seeing on your laptop, how do we
The
get
dark one. It's the same interface. It's just that it's dark. Okay. I think I said it in the last class. So go to click on what's it called?
Check file and preferences.
Yeah, file. Yeah, sure.
and
Click
then
on
those
file.
drops okay.
Click on preferences. Preferences. Yeah, sure. And then go to team. Yeah, teams.
Under miscellaneous. Here, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Under miscellaneous. Yeah, click on teams, and then you probably click on dark. But that doesn't mean your query will run faster. It just
No, okay, no, that's not even the problem. Like, I just want to know how you like
yeah,
this looks
sure.
different.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I understand. Just click on dark. Click on teams. Click on dark. Yeah. Yeah. Now click on apply or save. Click on save. Click on save. No, click on save here. Down. Yeah.
Down the
Then refresh.
But we are those things that are on your like those tabs.
Okay, the tabs. You need to probably click on a database and click on query editor.
Okay.
So
So
click
this
on
is the database.
no, that's not the database. That's the query editor. Click on that. Then okay, click on
I
Postgres.
created my shop left, but I don't know what to do afterwards.
Yeah, you have not done the second assignment.
See, I've done. I started, but I don't know what to do. See, this shop left. I created the
Okay, click
database. I
on
think
shop
that's
left.
part of
Click on
it.
it. Right click on it. Right click on it.
Okay.
Then click on query to. Query to. Click on query to.
Okay.
Query to. Yeah.
Okay. Is it looking familiar? Okay. Yes, it is.
Yeah, sure. So you continue your assignment. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
So I can stop sharing now.
Yeah, sure. So you can just Google search how to create a table and insert into a table. So the
Okay.
aim of the
I
assignment
think
is one thing.
that
Yeah.
should be on the slide now, right? Like,
Don't go and copy the slide. Go and do your research.
okay.
Yeah, no, actually, why actually, because the truth is when you research something, it's hard for you to forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, though it might be difficult. Everything I'm actually teaching now might be difficult, but the truth is, next month when you look back, you'll be like kind of grateful because of all this stuff. The truth is, I was actually part of a training last year, and every week, we're learning new things. So then I didn't really have time for anything. Like I don't really have time because I was always online researching, and it's actually helped me because if you throw a question to me now or at me, like it's hard for me to tell you that I can't solve it. Like I will try my best to do research, and it's actually because I was to do a task for someone. I work for someone, and the person gave me a particular task. And honestly, I went to Stack Overflow because if you are familiar with programming, you know that Stack Overflow is where people go to search for answers and stuff. So Stack Overflow is kind of like a community where people drop answers or like they come and ask their question and people just answer for developers. So I went to Stack Overflow and a lot of stuff, and it was kind of difficult. So what I did was I just sat down and I just like, okay, this thing, let me just think about this stuff. Then I thought about this, and it was kind of similar to something I was exposed to in the training last year during the lockdown. So I was able to solve it and it was okay. So the truth is, when you do research, like when you attempt some things, it's kind of boosts your IQ and your memory. Yeah, that's the thing. But it's fine. You can check the slide, but it will still be okay for you to search, like Google search, how to insert something. Because one thing is when I'm learning something, I try to learn. Like I open a lot of tabs. Like I can open a lot of tabs just to understand something. Because once you understand something, it's hard for you to forget. That's the thing. So let me not. I think I've been saying a lot of things to motivate people, but let me know. I'm not a motivational speaker. But that aside, so let's continue with what um, we are doing. Yeah. So cancel this. Yeah. Okay. So when I talk about where not name is equal to this, you understand? And after the class, before we close, someone will have to demonstrate what I've taught in the class. So please don't run away. Don't run away. Because I know some persons might probably want to run away, but don't run. Yeah, so let's continue with the class. So yeah, so I'll talk about the where clause. And so you could do anything where not name is equal to this and a lot of stuff. So where clause is something you probably will need to use, like when you are we want to filter out some stuff. You want when you are using your select. Remember, select from where. So you understand, and you will use it and stuff like that. So where is kind of like for to test for a condition. So if the condition is true, you get your results. If the condition is false, if all the conditions result to false, you will not receive any query. Your query will be empty. Take for instance, when you talk about where name is equal to Idowu, you know, when you use and when you do and is like, okay, this thing must be true and true. Take for instance, and it's like, okay, are you a male and are you a female? Like, I don't think it's possible for you to be a male and a female. I don't know. But I believe it's not really possible. I don't know. It might be possible, but so now let's say where name is equal to Idowu and name is equal to Daniel. Then let's click on this. So if you look at this thing returns nothing because there's nowhere in your table that you have name as Idowu Lekura and your name as Daniel or anything. You understand? So I think it's clear. So there are a lot of things you can still do with the where clause. So with the where clause, let me just make this bold. So with the where clause, this is kind of equal, greater than, less than. So now let's do greater than and less than. So take for instance, let's go back to our customer table, and then let's alter the customer table. Remember, so let's alter table customers. Is it customer or customers? Customers. So when you alter now, you add right. What's the name of our column? Say let's take for instance amount. So the amount of money the customer paid. You understand? When the customer came to your shop, how much did the customer pay? You understand? So add amount. Let's call this integer. You understand? So now let's run this, and then let's run this. So alter table query return successfully. So now remember, we just want to, so that I can show you how to use greater than or less than. You understand? So let me comment this. So let me select all from customers. Don't mind me, I'm actually writing the query now. Normally, please don't follow this step. Don't follow this step. Like, write your query sequentially, like let everything follow that. You understand? Don't write query here and write query here. Like, don't follow my footstep. You understand? So now we have amount, so it's telling you none. So none means it's empty. You understand? So let's update our customer. So now let's update this amount. Let's update this amount column. So now update customer, set amount. Amount is equal to, let's say, 1,000, or equal to 1,000. Where, remember, we talk about where. So when you are setting, because if you just do update customer, set amount is equal to 1,000, all your columns will be 1,000. And imagine if you have customers that probably you want to reward your customers now. And if you just probably want to update the values and then you just update all the values, that means all your customers will just probably, the values will be 1,000. So you can use the where clause, or the where clause. Sorry. You can use the where clause to probably limit what's it called? What will happen. So the where is kind of like a condition. So then let's say where name is, so I want to update the amount that Idowu Ilekura spent because it's the same person. So where name is equal to Idowu Ilekura. And remember, you have to end with this symbol, right? I think people call it this semicolon or something. So when let's now you highlight this and then run this. So updated to, it tells you that it has updated to, that means it has updated 2 rows. Then let's comment this out. And let's select all from customers. So now Idowu Ilekura has 1,000, 1,000. So one thing about none is that none values, anywhere you have none kind of take yeah precedence over what's it called, over other values. So your non columns or your non rows. Remember, we had Idowu Ilekura was first before, but because the values for Daniel and Florence is none, then the values, then that means none. These values will not be above it. Just like I think is it water is denser than oil, right? I think no. I think oil is denser than water. So just assume that none is kind of none floats above stuff. So while this thing, because imagine this thing has a value. So when you throw a stone inside water, it actually sinks, right? Right. If you throw a stone inside water, you understand? But if you probably throw a balloon or something that can float on top of water, it will actually float. So because the values are known, just assume it will kind of float and it will be above. Yeah, because known values are kind of empty. Yeah. So then I believe the analogy is kind of clear. So let me copy this. Let me paste this. So now let me update customer and set for Florence. Let's say Florence is a big lady. She has 5,000. So let's put where name. So let me uncomment this out and so now where update customers set amount where name is equal to what? Florence. So the where clause now.
Sorry, how did you comment it? Did you uncomment or uncommit?
Okay, comment. Okay, what I did is number one to comment. You probably even I think all programming language for Python, and let me just speak about Python. For Python and SQL, if you want to comment, just highlight the code you want to comment, then press Control and then the backslash. There's a backslash. You understand? Backslash. Let me just type it on the charts. Okay. Yeah. So Control plus your backslash to comment. So comment is kind of like you probably want to explain a particular line of code to someone. And the truth is, as a programmer, you probably will need to comment your code. Is something because the truth is you may write a code, you may understand the code today, and then tomorrow you might not understand again. Like that is the thing about programming. You understand? And again, apart from you understanding, commenting, when you comment your code, probably when you send the source code to someone can actually understand, okay, this is what you are doing here, and this is what you want to achieve. You understand? So that is about comments. So when you do control plus slash, you comment, and then you can do control. Yeah, sorry. I think is forward slash. Oh, sorry, this /. Yeah, /. Thank you. It's not backslash, /. So control plus shift and plus your /. Yeah, /. So this is to uncomment. So can someone try it and probably give me feedback? Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, sure. So if anyone is with their system and you want to try what I just did, because the best way to learn is by trying. Sorry.
Your screen is not showing again. So.
Yeah, sure. I said, can someone share their screen and probably do something like that, like comment and uncomment? If you have a system, you can share your screen.
sorry, while the person is sharing, can you just go over what you meant by comment and non-comment? Actually, you also talked about something. There's also is something called commit, right?
Okay,
Something to
commit is
commit,
yes. Commit is different. Commit is probably you want to
like
save your
saving. Yes.
yes, save it, yes. So comment, let me just type it out. Probably is commit to save. Commit is to save.
Mm-hmm.
Comment is to explain. So commit is different from comment.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So remember, we have social media, and when you want, maybe you are on Facebook and you saw your friend's clothes, you probably want to comment. You are kind of like expressing your opinion, something like that. Or maybe when you see Buhari and you just understand. I don't want to say a lot of things before people maybe they go and report me to Buhari. DSS now arrest anybody that says anything. You understand? So, but I believe you understand that stuff. So now I want someone to show me their screen and then probably do the comments and non-comments. Hello, are we? Hello, can someone hear me?
Yes.
So if you have
Yes,
your
sir.
sister, please can you share your screen and then probably comment and non-comments, or all of us are using our Android phones, right? I believe we have.
Okay, let me
Hello.
try.
Yeah, sure. So just share your screen. Let me stop sharing. Okay,
Let me try.
welcome
Let me
back.
try.
Yeah, sure. So share your screen and comment and non-comment. And then you explain to us what's the difference between a comment and a comment. It's just that maybe that will be an assignment for you guys, but just say it. What's the difference between comment, and how do you comment?
Just say that one. Like, what's the difference between comment, and
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I
Can we
think
all see my
Daniel wants to.
screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Daniel is using phone to video
Yes.
this thing.
Yes. He's a big man.
Yes.
Because he wants to live stream on system and on
I,
phone.
I don't understand why you cannot use his laptop for the meeting now. Showing us one blood image or blood video.
See, if me I want to use laptop, I have to like connect my data to my laptop, and sometimes it consumes more data than when I make use of the phone.
Yes, or maybe maybe
Okay, just hold on.
the
Let me type it.
no, don't worry, just continue. Don't worry, don't mind Florence and the other person that was helping you. Don't worry.
I will join you soon. Let me put on my laptop.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's even good. The thing is, you can actually use laptop. Probably, I think with MTN 3.5, you can get about 25 gig. I mean, yeah, 25 gig.
Like, seriously.
Please tell us
Yes,
the
sure.
code.
Yes. I think
Good news.
star 121 hash. If you just press star 121 hash,
Okay.
then you see data for me. And then for Nigerians, sorry, apologies for those that are not from Nigeria. So for Nigerians, you can just type
121.
star 121 hash. Then you see data for me, and
Control.
then you click on
Did you
data for
see
me.
it?
Then that 3
Hello.
a month.
Hello. Can you see this?
Yes,
We
you
can
can see it.
Yeah, we are
So
trying to see it.
con-
we can
Yes,
control
it's clear. It's
backslash.
clear.
Control backslash.
No,
That's
sorry,
this one.
use forward slash, not backslash. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Forward slash.
No, it's then when you want to stop it, do the opposite way. So this is what I press. Control backslash. So it goes like that. Then when you want to remove uncomment it, just shift control backslash. It's come back.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
that's basically how to comment and uncomment.
You have done well, Daniel.
Do we understand?
We understand.
Yeah, sure.
We don't
Hello, please
start.
just give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm waiting for that code. The
Timothy,
MTN
what is it?
subscription code.
Anthony, show your own. Let's see. You
I
control
don't have
backslash.
mind to share my screen.
Sorry, I have a question. Control backslash was to comment. What of to uncomment, like to reverse the comment, comment.
Control shift forward
Okay, control
slash, not
shift
backslash. Yeah.
If you want to undo
to
it,
reverse it.
Yes.
Okay, let me
shift
try it.
control,
Control
yeah.
shift backslash.
That thing is forward slash, it's not backslash. There's backslash different.
Okay, yeah, forward slash is the one you under
slash
close to control key.
actually.
Close to control key, okay. Control shift. Okay, that's true, it works.
But
Control
really, I
shift.
don't even understand this thing yet because I'm not working. Like, can I just type this thing without having like a database? I've not created customers, nothing. That's why I'm not even attempting it.
Okay, there's a default database that Postgres creates for you. So click on the database. But since you already have a database for shoplift, then create a table. Create a table now. Hello?
I'll go and browse. Don't have. I'll do my
Create
research.
table. We have been doing create table for a lot of days now. You can't say you want to research that. Hello? Okay, we talk about how to create now. Can you see my screen? Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Well, but the truth is, programming sometimes can be hard, sure. But can you see my screen now? Sometimes programming can be hard. So Antoinette,
Yeah.
can you see my screen? So now, go to this create table and follow this format. So that at least you'll be on the same page and then you'll not be lost. Can you see my screen? That create table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to update Florence. Hello. So now I want to update Florence details. I want to update Florence details, and then we have updated one. And then let me comment this.
Probably you need your mic now.
So now for Daniel,
Is
let me
that
not be
noise from
partial.
your background?
It's not from my background. No. Hello, if you are not speaking, please, Antoinette. I think Antoinette. Yeah, let me just. No, don't worry. I will mute you. Don't worry.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. And then OT Ulusonya Tommy. I'll meet you again. Yeah. So let me update Daniel's zone. To let me not do 1,000. Let me just use 5,000 at least to be, or let me use 6,000 so that we have distinct values. So where name is equal to what? Daniel. So it has updated, and then now when we select from this, when you select all from customers, select all from customers so that we'll see what we have done. So now we already have, for Ido, the amount he paid is probably 1,000, and then for Florence 5,000, for Daniel 6,000. So now we want to get customers that have probably that have paid a high amount of money, maybe the rich customers. So how do we get these guys now? Like, okay, maybe you want to reward your loyal customers. I believe MTN and all these guys actually do these things. Like they reward their loyal customers with probably a bonus or something like that. When I mean loyal or probably people that have been patronizing them. Take for instance, from a particular customer now, let me just use in dollars. You have a customer that buys from you, maybe bought $1,000 or $10,000 worth of cake from you, and then you have another customer that just bought $5 worth of cake. I believe you probably want to like normally you probably want to appreciate the high paying customer. You understand? You understand? So now we want to get the customers that have a lot of money. So now what you can do is okay, select all from customers, and then remember you do select from, and then you do your where amount is this correct amount, yeah, where amount is greater than 1,000. So we want to get customers that have or that have amount that is greater than 1,000. You could use this as for customers that have probably purchased something, the purchase rate of something, and then when you run this, what will happen? You see that Florence and hello, can you hear me? Hello. Yeah,
We
Florence is
can
on this
hear
page. Yeah,
you.
yeah, Florence is here. I think Florence is Imade something, something like that. So when you do the where now, you're kind of like
Yeah,
getting
that is me.
okay, yeah, no problem. So that when you do select all from customers where amount is greater than 1,000, what will happen is you only filter out customers. So now with this, now you can filter out customers that are kind of wealthy. So customers that are wealthy are Florence and Daniel. So they are the big guys here. So when anywhere you see them, just ask them for money. So uh hello, can you hear me?
Can't stop
Hello.
laughing, no.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
so that is where close, and we might not be able to touch everything in where. So look at the same way. This is greater than, this is less than. Then for greater than or equal to, so you could use greater than or equal to. So now if you use amount greater than or equal, so look at it. The first thing you're going to write is to make this readable. So sometimes when you are writing your code, you probably want people to understand or probably make it easier for people to read. So instead of clustering everything together in this like this, you can just give like just let there be a space between this stuff. So like this, someone can actually read this thing very well. So now when you do where amount is greater than or equal to, so when you do greater than or equal to, so you are searching for values that are maybe greater than 1,000. That is that means you are saying list is 1,000. List is 1,000. So that means from 1,000 above is customers you are looking for. So you can do greater than or. So the first thing is your greater than. Remember, this is how you do it. In English, is greater than or equal to. So you just do your greater than symbol and then with equal to, because that is all equal to. So this is how you can actually write queries that use greater than or equal to. So you're greater than first and then you're equal to. So if you want to do less than, what am I going to do? Am I going to write less than or equal to? Hello?
You use
Hello?
Yeah.
the less than
Yeah.
symbol
Then
and equal to.
like this.
No, the
Why?
less than should come before the equal to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Correct. So why? Why?
Why should it come before the equal to?
Yes.
Because that is how it is pronounced now. Less
Uh,
than or
La Crown
equal
La
to.
Poor. No, I'm just joking. You know, in Nigerian universities or higher institutions, people just cram and pour stuff. So now with this now, what you are saying is okay, yeah, the maximum should be 1,000. Like from 1,000 downwards. So now if you look at it, amount is 1,000 because for here you don't know that meet this criteria of 1,000. So there are different things you can actually do. Then remember there was something I did when I used where. I use when you want to do not equal to, you could actually use something like two, like you can use less than and greater than together to give you not equal. You understand? To give you not equal. So if you want to do probably where you want to get names of customers that is not do with Ekura. So you can do where name is not what is not equal to. So this is for inequality. So remember when you are doing inequality sign, in mathematics, I think you use tilde and equal to for inequality. So when something is not equal, so when you do Ilekura now, what's happening? So when name is not equal to you do Ilekura, so it's Florence and Daniel, you understand? Because they are not equal. You could use something like when you negate equal to with this, or you can negate it with this. You can just negate it with this, like this kind of like a negation. This kind of like an exclamation mark. And exclamation, when you exclamate, it means most times when people exclamate, sometimes it's not really good. So just think of it as exclamation symbol when you are negating something. So when you bring your exclamation, even in Python too, because I kind of program in Python, like my main programming language is Python, apart from SQL. So when you do negate to with Python too, you can actually use this to as a condition in Python too. So the truth is most of the stuff you are learning in Postgres is kind of applicable to all programming language. So that is one of the reasons why we actually started with Postgres, and because it's easier, like unlike programming, because one thing is people are kind of scared of programming. Yeah, that is so now when name is not equal to the class, so only Florence and Daniel will come out. Yeah, so
Sorry, excuse me. Does that mean that like we can use this for we're talking about when we're talking about select also we said we're not name, like we actually type in not name. It's giving the same result. Or does it have different function apart from
yes, it's still the same thing. Where not name is still the same thing as where name is not equal to this. Because it's just like when you say where name is not equal to this, or where not name, where not, so you're kind of negating where name is equal to do, you are negating it. So if it is true, it will be false.
okay.
If it is false, it will be true.
Okay. So it's just an
Yeah.
alternative way of getting the same thing done.
Yeah, sure. So we talk about and we talk about or, then in. So return true if a value matches any value in it. So let's do something here. So let's talk about customers where amount in
It's like
in
the
a
way
list.
you're eating something.
Okay, so let me just sorry. Let's do something like let's say where amount in is it 1,000? Let me try this. 2,000, 3,000. So let's run this. When in let me try this. Let me see if it will work. Okay, yeah. So this kind of like you're in now because you're trying to search for values that like what is happening is Postgres is going and it's picking for each column now, for each value in your column, it will go and pick. So now for this amount is 1,000. So it's 1,000 inside in one it's 1,000 inside this list because yeah, sure it's inside because 1,000 is here, so it's true. So that column will be automatically returned. So it will be true. So like what is happening is Postgres is like saying, okay, where are amounts in 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000. So now you are trying to check if the amount value is inside this list of values. Is it inside 1,000? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? Is it 3,000? So from here now, it's kind of like you can instead of doing this, you could do something like okay, where amount is equal to 1,000 or amount is equal to 2,000 or amount is equal to 3,000. Understand? So because this and or where amount is equal to 2,000 or amount is equal to 3,000 is train and error.
That's supposed to be all. You made use of zero.
So thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I was just wondering what happened. Yeah, sure. Um, so yeah, so this is the same thing as you doing like where this is this, or this is this, or this is this. So just think of it as an or statement. But instead of writing all this, like the truth is, the let me say best programmers or the best programmers are lazy programmers. Like they don't really
What
want to
if
do
you
a lot of
put
stuff.
all the values? What if you put bracket and all the values in a bracket?
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's
Will
why
it work?
that where in the where in kind of like helps you to work with. Okay, just do 1,000, 2,000,
But
2,000, or three
is
thousand.
there a possibility? Let's say we have such a large data. Can we like put a range instead of us listing like all the values?
Yes, then you can use your between. So you can use between.
Okay.
So yeah, so you could use between. So let's say you could use between sorry, between between 1,000
And
and
3,000.
2,000. Let me see if this will work. Yeah, so if you look at this now, so the between return kind of like help you to check if this thing is 1,000, or the values can range from maybe 1,000 to 2,000. It can be 1,001, 1,002, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, and a lot of stuff. So the between is kind of like telling you that okay, the value is between this and this. So let me even try to alter. Let me have another person's name. There's this man that will be disturbing this meeting since what's his name? Um, oh, he has left the meeting. Okay. So let me use any other person. Let me use Addison. So let me use Addison, and then let me so that you see the power of the in statement. So Control Shift this. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. What's making noise? So now let's update. I think I know him as Keybet. Abi, what's his name? Oh, sorry. Addison. So let's just update for Addison. Where name is Addison, let's use this as maybe 1,200. Addison. So now let's run this, and then you see if Postgres will return this. So query return successfully. Oh, sorry, I'm doing this is what I would have done. Sorry, you know why this thing just said updated history, because there's nothing like name Addison. So what I ought to do is insert into it. You understand? So how to have done insert into customers. And your name, and name is what? Remember, when you're writing characters, you have to put it in single quotation. You understand? So how they saying? Then how did we write our table? How did we structure our table? I think we have name. What again? Location, right? Location. Let's say open, and then what's again? And then email address. Let me just say at Google at google.com. And then the amount is what? I think let's just do 1,200. Yeah, so why would this thing throw an error? Hello?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, semicolon.
No, apart from the semicolon, let me put semicolon. Apart from that,
Uh,
why will it throw an error? If you know it, why will it throw an error? If you know it, I will give you what I'm eating. But oh, you can't see. So why would this thing throw an error?
I think the way you wrote 1,200.
Maybe
I don't know.
value.
Why would this thing throw an error? Why would it?
The way you wrote 1,200, you didn't put a parenthesis there, or you didn't put a
They are not
quotation.
supposed to put it in
No,
parentheses now.
you're not supposed to put it in parentheses. It's a number. You
Mhm.
remember, it's only if you put this in a
That
quotation now,
it will
this will
become
be
Maybe,
a
a
text,
string.
maybe
Yes.
a string.
Who wants to try? Why would this thing throw an error?
Maybe you have to add values.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes,
Is that your
yes.
final answer? Is that
You're
your final
supposed to
answer?
values.
Is that your final
Yes,
answer?
yes, yes,
Is that your
Yes.
final answer?
yes,
Yeah, correct,
yes,
correct.
yes.
Yeah, you guys are following. So yeah, you have to tell it that these are your values. You understand that you want to insert. Yeah. So when you run this, yeah, so inserted one, then returning. So the thing is, when you are writing integers, don't put integers inside quotation. If you put inside quotation, automatically Postgres will think it's an integer. Sorry, to think it's a character. If you put an integer inside a quotation, automatically you turn it to a character in any programming language, whether JavaScript, Python, Go, anywhere. Like characters, you put characters inside quotation, this thing. So, but numbers are just like that, like normal numbers. So, like, let's try this. What would this thing to do? This thing might actually throw an error. This thing show 1000. But I put this thing inside quotation. What's happening? Let me run this. Sorry. This thing still run. It's not. It's not to try an error. It's not to try an error. Okay, but no problem. Maybe I'll look into it and then get back. Now I want to do where amounts between 1000 and 2000. So when you run this, you realize that I still don't know why that thing was. Maybe
Please, when you were
the
adding the
characters.
amount to the table, what was the character for the amount? Did you
It
use
was integer.
integers or you did?
It was integer. It was integer. So look at the outer table customers add amount integer. So probably I would need to do some research about this and see why Postgres did not throw an error, because obviously Postgres ought to throw an error. So, but maybe I'll probably get back to everyone later. So, because sometimes all these SQL engines can actually probably maybe instead of, if you have a character, maybe your number, when you're specifying your column, your character also take like 5 values or 5 letters, and then probably you just have just one character, and then you put space sometimes, or if you have like more than 3 characters and then the others are space. So what will happen is this, some SQL engines kind of help you to truncate the values. If you're using character, remember character, the values are actually fixed. So if it is 3, all the values must be 3. So if you have maybe 3 characters and then you have other spaces and spaces and spaces, so on SQL engine, I think Postgres will help you to truncate it and then give you only that 3 characters and then insert into the table. So I think that's probably what this thing is doing. Maybe converted it back to integers, but I will probably do more research about this. It's happening like this. So now when you do select all from customers where amounts between 1000 and 2000. So remember, you were able to see 1000, 1000, 1200, 1200, and 1200. So instead of writing manually coding all these stuff, you could just use between. So it's kind of like, okay, it's checking if this value, the range, this is the range, like is it between 1000 and 2000. So you can have 1001, 1000 this, 1005, but it must not exceed 2000. So I think we are following, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are following.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the between, yeah, I even talk about between, yeah, return true if a value is between a range of values. Then let's talk about like. So like you use like as to retrieve values. Say for instance, I already know that, okay, I have someone called Ido in my table, but I probably don't know his surname, because I think yesterday when Florence was pronouncing my surname, she couldn't pronounce it because. So maybe take for instance, you have customers like that maybe, or like Mark Zuckerberg, or what's his name, and then even though because Mark is wealthy, a lot of people will find it hard to pronounce his name. You understand? So take for instance, now you want to pronounce that person's name, or you want to get someone, but you know that there's someone called Mark, but you don't probably you're trying to recollect his surname, but you don't know his surname. So what you can do is you can use what is called like. So
Lekura, is that his surname?
yeah, Lekura is my surname.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Ido. My surname is Ilekura. So you can do where name like. So when you are doing like, there's something about an expression that you use to match your value. So let's take for instance, you have ID percent. You have to put it inside quotation. So let's run this and see what it will give us. So if you look at this, it gave us Ido because if you search for values that have Ido that start with ID, you understand, that start with ID, and then the percent sign is like, okay, match 1, match 0 or any other character. So it will match this, to match O, to match W, to match this, and then to say, okay, to now return true, to match Idowu Ilekura, because there's ID here. So that's about what's it called? Your where clause. So we'll talk about like, so returns true, the value matches a pattern. So there's a pattern. So the percent sign matches any sequence of 0 or more characters. So here now you have Idowu. So there's one character, it matches the Lekura. So this is true. This is true. But Florence does not start with ID, and Daniel doesn't start with ID. So but let's assume, let me do this. I want someone to give me an answer. Let me leave this slide. So if I do this, what will happen if I do something like this? What will Postgres return? Can someone just let me know? Hello? Hello?
I don't know.
Hello.
I think maybe it will be for the ones that end with ID or something, or that have ID anywhere in the name.
No, I removed the I. I just put D and then I put the percent sign in front of D and the percent sign at the back of D.
Maybe probably you are looking for a name that have D in the middle, or
Hello. I think both of you have actually spoken well. So let's run it and confirm. So if you look at this, it's not just in the middle. It's searching for any value that has a D inside, whether in the beginning, at the end, or anything. So it's kind of like searching for, okay, values before D or values after D. Remember, this percent sign is kind of like 0 or more. So here now we have I. There's a character before D. So although it's not D, but there's a character before it. So 0 or more. 0 or more. So I is 1. So it matches and then match everything together. But Daniel starts with D. Remember, there's no value before D. And the character says it's matching values with so now it's going here and then check for Daniel. For Daniel now, D is start, the first character here is D. There's no character before D, so 0. So it will still match it because it's 0 or 1 or more. Sorry, you can even have maybe Ido, and then it will still match it. So maybe you are looking for values or you are looking for customers that have D in their name. So you can use this to kind of like filter out and get their name. Hello?
Well, I'm not sometimes you most
Hello, I can't hear you if you are speaking. Anthony, are you the one speaking? No. Hello, someone was saying something, right?
sorry, I'm not
Okay. Who is this? Fellow Gista. Who is this fellow Gista? Are you a lady? The voice looks like a lady or the voice of a lady. Hello? Fellow Gista.
yes, I'm good.
What's your name, please?
Mesoma.
Eh?
Mesoma.
Oh, okay. Miss Somabi, favor. Are you the favor on WhatsApp?
No, Mesoma.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay. So like I said, here now, the percent sign is kind of like it's matching any value. So now what Postgres is doing is it comes here for Ido now. Remember, it always has a value before D. So, and remember, this pattern matches 0 or more. So there's a value before D, so 0 or more. So it will match this. So now, if I do this, what will happen? If I match this, what will this thing? What will happen? Hello,
You are
hello, can you
searching
see?
with
Yeah, yeah, continue.
it
Hello,
will start
hello.
search for hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it will start searching from D. Like maybe it will start with D. Then names that start with D that will pop out. So maybe Daniel will be the only name that will pop out.
No. Well, it's a good attempt, but no. So this D%,
And
remember this D% is like, okay, you are searching for values that end with D. There's an, okay, wait, what happened? Oh, sorry. Where did D? Okay, yeah, sure. You are right. I think there was a mistake. You are right. So with the D% now, I think this is what I actually started with, right? With the D%, you are searching for values that has maybe D and then kind of match other characters. So Daniel will be matched. But if you have something like this, Kwame, you are right. So if you have something like this, what will happen?
oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you have something like this, what will happen?
Now look for characters that end with D.
Yeah, because I've already run I ran the query. I already ran this query, right? No problem. So yeah, so because there's no character that actually ended with D, then what happened? It will not return any query because everything is false. Yeah, so I think that is just everything about the like. Then there's something again. Probably you just want to match.
Um, um, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how you followed this percentage stuff.
Okay, let me make this bold. Mm, okay, now so the like clause, you use the like. When you say something like something, it's not exactly that thing, but it's kind of like similar to it. So when you say, okay, I'm eating this thing, is like this, it tastes like rice, but it's not rice. You understand? So spag might taste like indomie depending on how you cook it, and indomie might taste like spag depending on how you cook it. So just think of it as like is not the same thing, but it's kind of like, okay, it's similar. So you use like to kind of match some things, like, okay, this thing is like this, but it's not really the same, but I think it looks like this, so I can recover it or retrieve it. I don't know if you're following. So like when you say like, okay, now take for instance, maybe someone tied your eye, and maybe when people are proposing to maybe their loved ones, or sometimes they probably tie people's eye and then they open their eye and stuff like that. So if you probably, or I think even in Igbo land or Igbo tribe, there's something they used to do. When they are doing traditional wedding, they probably tie the face of the wife to be, or the bride to be, and then they probably will give the bride, I think, a palm wine or something, and then they'll tell the bride to probably walk around, and then probably give it to any man or something like that, and then any
Oh
man
my
that
god. Like that.
yes, yeah, something like that. So yeah. So it's just, so the like is kind of like, okay, you're trying to check, but it might not be the same, but it's kind of similar sometimes. But that thing is risky. Sha. Imagine like so when you do your like is not the same thing, but it's kind of similar. So if you want to match, it's kind of like you want to match a pattern, or you want to, maybe you probably don't remember the name of your customer, or there's a customer, maybe you have a friend that has been owing you money, is a debtor. I like to use that instance. Maybe you have a friend that is a debtor. You probably borrowed him money, or you gave the person urgent 2K, and then and then you maybe and you are maybe a data analyst, or you just say, okay, let me save the names of my friends that are owing me money or debtors, and then you probably forgot someone's name, but you know that this person, his name starts with T, but you probably you can't recollect his name because maybe obviously you have a lot of things you are thinking about. Then you want to retrieve that person's name. So a like clause helps you to retrieve values. You understand? So the like clause helps you to retrieve values, and then to actually match. So think of this thing as percent. This percent matches any sequence of 0 or more characters. So this percent now matches whether it's 0, whether the value exists, or more. So it's kind of like a greedy match. Like it wants to take everything. So when you say something is greedy, that means if you take someone to shop right and you tell the person, okay, take anything you want. People who want to rush to iPhone 12. I think iPhone 13 is on its way now. You want to rush to iPhone 13, and then probably, or maybe you took someone to a wedding party, and then you told the person, okay, and there's maybe more jollof rice, meat, and everything. For someone that is greedy, the person might probably want to pack everything. You understand? So the person want to pack everything, even including the chair, everything. So that's kind of like a greedy match. Like, but someone that is not really too greedy might just say, okay, I just need water. You understand? So just think of it like that. Like water, and I just take maybe just one or 0 or something. But for your percent now, you are matching any sequence of 0 or more characters. Percent matches any sequence of 0 or more characters. Yeah. So but this underscore matches any single character. You understand? So it just matches any single character. So like one single character. So now when you do where name like percent ID, so search for names that start with ID. So now you're saying, okay, for name that starts with ID, percent ID, percent ID. Sorry, I think there's a mistake here.
Hello.
There's a mistake here. Yeah, there's a mistake here. Sorry. This also search for names that end with ID, not start with.
Yeah.
That ends with, and then this one is one that starts with. Yeah. So with this now, you are searching for okay values that end with ID. So you are saying okay, match any character before this ID. So now take for instance, you have a name like this. Just look at what I'm typing. You have a name like Ido. So or let's say you have a name like Jul. I think there's something like let's say Juliet. So Juliet. So now you're saying okay, match any name that ends with ID. So now remember this is a percent. So this percent I say okay, match 0. This J is not ID but matches because 0 or more. So it matches 0 or more because there's ID here. So it will match all the values before ID because you are saying okay, search for names that ends with ID. And then this percent sign matches J, matches any character, matches JUL, and then matches your ID. But if you have Ju, if you have Ju LB, it will not match because IB is different from ID because you're just saying okay, if I character then match it. But if IB is the last, then don't match it, you understand? So that's the thing. Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? Hello, are you following?
Yes. Yes. I'm following.
Yes. Antoinette, are you following?
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So yeah, sure, it may not really make sense at the moment, but just sit down, be calm. The truth is programming sometimes has a lot of jargons and it's just for you to be calm and just see the picture. You understand? So yeah, now you're trying to match values that end with ID. Remember, when you do this percent ID, you're saying, okay, I want to match names where percent ID, like, okay, with this now, you have percent ID, then you want to match name that ends with ID. You understand? Yeah. So, and then when you do where name like ID percent, so you're saying, okay, give me names that start with ID and match all the value because it's saying it's matching any character. So if you have a name that starts with Ido, ID now, it will match ID. It will match Ido. It will match Idris. It will match Idris, it will match anything, even if Idris is long until the end of that word or the end of that name. So even if you have Idris, this, it will still match because though there's an empty character between this, but because remember there's zero or more. So if there's zero, then it matches and then move to the next, and then move to the next, move to the next till it matches all the values in that name. Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? Hello?
Yes, we are following.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So
we are
maybe
following.
when we are done with like, then we'll draw the curtain for the class so that we can continue tomorrow, and others can go and rest because this is already after 9. So then when you do where like percent d percent, so now what you are doing is okay. You're saying okay, give me any character that starts with this, but has ID inside, and then probably has any other character at the end. So that's when you do something like this. When you do something like percent, can you see my screen? When it's percent ID percent, you're saying okay, give me values that have maybe hello word, and then you have something like ID inside. Can you see this ID? Can you see what? Can you see this? Let me just make it bold. Can you see this hello ID word? So what you are saying is okay, give me values that, remember this percent is zero or more, so it will match zero or more, and then it will find okay ID is here, then it will match this order again, and then it's okay, yes, yes. So it will give you ID. So it will give you values that okay, have words that precede it, and then words that and that after it, kind of like give you my patterns that have words like suffix and prefix. You understand? Like suffix is after, prefix is before, right? Yeah. So hello word is a prefix of ID because it's this ID you are using to match. So hello word is this ID, then the word is the suffix. So it's telling you that okay, give me words that have percent. So this percent will match any word before ID and any word after ID. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah, it is
Hello?
clear.
Yes. Anthony, is it clear? If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me. Um, if you don't ask any question, I'll assume
It's actually clear for me. It is. It's like it's clear.
it looks like it's clear. If it looks like it's clear, then it's not clear.
No, I said this like cloth. It's clear.
Yeah. Okay, it's clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then there's something else again. Maybe you want to just match values that maybe you want to just have values that have ID, and then probably that's ID. Maybe you have a word that just paid PID, maybe PID and E, anything like that. So you can probably, let's search for it and see if it will give us anything. It's zero because what this thing is saying is okay, it's just matching for one. So unlike percent that matches zero or more, what this one is just doing is okay, this underscore is like okay, matching just a single character. So it only match values that have maybe F O. Sorry, this one is not even correct. This ought to be F O. Yeah, sorry, yes, FOO will match because like it's matching for any single character. So you just say okay, F is 1, 0, and then underscore. So you can use this, maybe you have just 3 words and you want to match it. So search for names with any character that is followed by O, and ask any character after O. That is like ask any other character after O. You understand? So it must be a single character. It must not be, it can't really match 0 or more. You understand? So let's try. Remember, you just have ID. If you look at your customer's name now, if you look at your customer's name, you see that we only have Idowu Ilekura. So now let's take for instance, where if you want to search for Daniel, where name like let's say ANIEL underscore. So all these things give us. Oh, sorry, you have to put this inside quotation. Else it will throw an error. So now let's run this. So can you see now Daniel came out because it's just matching values with D. So it's just search for okay, a single character before it and then a single character after it. So if you have Daniels here now, it will not match. If you have S after L, it will not match. But if you use a percent now, it will match because it's zero or more. But here I just searching for just one character after this pattern. So maybe you just want to search for values that have maybe Daniel or Peniel or Xeniel or any name, but just want to check okay, but you just want to match values that have this ANIE, but it's inside value that only DL or let me come again. It's like you're searching for value that have difference values okay, only I only put it there by one character and then stuff it's like one character. So yeah, you realize that like if you just do like Daniel, so this is kind of like Daniel and L. So there are such values that are maybe as a single character followed by ANIE and then another character after this. So remember D is a single character. So if you have S and this, it will
Your
not
screen
match.
is not showing.
Hello? Hello?
I think
Hello?
your network is breaking. Your video is stopped displaying.
Yeah, your voice is breaking. I don't know.
Seriously?
You know, your network is down.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Oh, sorry, I think it's my network. Yeah. So like I was saying, but like at what point were you not hearing me again? At what point were you not hearing me again? Or when last did you hear me? Like at what point? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
after you ran the last code that gave us Daniel, and you were saying that
Oh, okay.
it only give us a name that is maybe one alphabet after all these
Yeah,
stuff.
so let me just give you
And
it will match Kanye. It will match Kanye. It will match Kanye. It will match Zanied. It will match anything, but it must follow this format. It must be one and have a one after it. So it cannot match. It cannot. It cannot match Daniels. Are you following?
okay. So that means it cannot match Daniela too. Okay.
Yeah, it cannot match Daniela. It must only match a character that it can match Kanye. It can match Kanye. It can match Zenia. It can match anything, but it must be a character before this and then a character after this. It cannot match Daniela. If you want to match Daniela, then that means you probably will need to use the percent. So you probably can use something like this. You understand? So to match
Okay.
Daniela and everything.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so I think we have exceeded the class. And then this other one again, where name. So if you use this B underscore, maybe you only use B underscore. So here now, it only match what's it called? For values that are maybe BO, BA, BX, or any other BX or not NX, BX, and stuff like that. So yeah, so we'll continue with aggregate function tomorrow, and then we'll talk about aggregate functions, group by, and a lot of stuff. So
So
yeah. So for this like clause now, I want someone to explain. I want to turn off my microphone, and then we have come to the end of the class. And before we go, I want someone to probably just walk us through the like and then explain everything. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, hello, hello, can you hear me?
hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
So
you.
yes, I want someone now. We have come to the end of the class. So I want someone to probably just walk us through, especially the like command, then just walk us through the like and explain to us. And probably if you can share your screen. When are we closing today, sir? Oh, someone has a question. When? Okay, sorry, that's the name of someone. Who is this? When are we closing today? Who is this person? This person is very funny. Okay, the person just changed his name or something. We are close. We'll soon be close. We'll soon close. Sorry, we'll soon close. Like we'll soon come to the end of the class. We've actually come to the end of the class. It's just for us to recap what was taught today. So I want someone to probably recap what was taught, like and talk about especially the like because the like I know like kinds of give people maybe people don't really understand like. So I want someone to explain the like. Hello,
Okay,
can you hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Can.
so just try. There's no wrong answer. There's no right. Who is this? When are we closing today? Who is this person? I need to meet.
Maybe the person was just trying to get your attention.
It's me, oh,
Yeah,
it's me,
sure, yeah, sure.
Daniel. I'm on the road now. So I'm not following from all the like area. I'm not following again at all.
Well, please be careful because Abuja. Okay, Abuja is not as crazy as Lagos, but just be careful, child, because of bad boy sounds. Okay, so Antoinette, yeah, you can speak now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so the like clause, it tries to filter, from what I my own understanding, it tries to filter out like the data or matches a data that's already available in your database. So, for instance, you are searching for um, Daniel per se, and then you don't remember the name. Maybe you just remember the person's name started with D, and you're wondering. So you can use the percentage function to check. So there are different. Okay, for the like clause, you use the percentage to sift the results that you get. So if you're looking for a name now that you have probably saved that's already in your database and is, for instance, Daniel, and you don't remember that that's the name, but you know it starts with D. So if it's starting with D, you will use you put a percentage function after the D when you type your command, something like that. I don't know if I'm using the right terminologies, but so when you put your percentage function after the D, like where name, like D percentage, make sure you put it in parentheses so that it will come out, the result come out. So it will bring for you out all the names in your database that have D beginning the name. So, but if that name, if you remember that the name ends with D, you put the percentage sign. You put the percentage sign before, right? Yes, you put the percentage sign before. Why, if it begins with, you put percentage sign after. Then, for instance, you are looking for a name that has D. So, can you guys hear me? Like, like I'm just talking.
Yes,
Hello.
sure. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, if you are looking for a name that has um BO somewhere in between the name, but you don't know what it starts, you don't know what it ends with. So that in that case, you can put a percentage sign before, then put the two letters or the number of letters that you can remember are together in the name. For instance, the BO, then put a percentage sign after. So it will bring for you all the names that have BO somewhere interspersed in the name. Then there was another function that you explained. Okay,
Okay,
this
I want
one
you to
that
share your
has.
screen. I want you to share your screen and probably just walk us through it, like type it out.
I don't have anything on my database. That's why.
Yeah, you don't need to just like when I was sharing my screen or if you see my screen, what I was typing there, I don't necessarily need it a database. Just type your query editor. I know you're using this database, so I don't worry, I'll catch you.
Hey,
Just
please
share your
now.
screen. Just share your screen.
Are you going to
No,
guide
the truth is,
me?
yeah, sure, I'll guide you.
Okay.
We actually, let me just say a joke. I think it's in
No.
the in US, in the US Army, there was this man that was trying to practice, and then they threw him from the airplane, and then they told him that there will be a car down, like you understand, like okay, even if he falls down, like there's a car below on the ground that will probably save him. And then when they told him that his parachute will work, then when they trimmed, because he was kind of scared, like he was kind of scared, and he's in the military, and then they threw him down, and he tried to operate his parachute. It was not working. It was like wow. Then that was when he knew that that car that he said is down. That probably that car might not really be down. You understand? So the truth is, I may not really guide you, but just continue, sir. So share your screen. So the guy, me telling you that I'll guide him, I know I might just be like that military, those military guys. But just continue, just share your screen, or I'll guide you, no problem.
I'm sorry. Please just do this one time. Okay, I'm sharing my
Share your screen. Let me stop sharing so you can share your screen. So share your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, sure, I can see your
Yes, we
screen.
can see it.
Hi, this guy is not coming.
So you can type anything here in your Postgres. Yeah. So just walk us through how do you match Daniel, Daniel, and probably a name that starts with D. How do you match it? So just type it.
I don't know why it's hanging or something. It's supposed to be okay.
Yeah, your network is kind of very poor.
No. Can we see?
We can't really see, but just continue. We can't really see. I think your network is bad. Just continue.
So I'm alone with this.
You don't need to select anything. Just write it. Just type it. Don't worry. You don't need to select. I can see your screen. What I'm saying is probably just show us a pattern. Okay, you want to match someone to something that ends with a D. What are you going to write?
Something that ends with a D.
Yeah, or you can write the select, but you don't run it. You can write the select. You can write the statement like select this, but you probably will not want to run it so that it won't throw an error because you don't have anything. So write the select.
Name like.
Yes. Where are you selecting your name from? Where are you selecting your name from?
From customers. If I
yeah, but there's no from here. There's no from. You just put like.
Hey, you said I should not write select now.
That doesn't mean you don't write a correct code. That doesn't mean you don't write a code.
If I don't put select, I can put from.
You have to put your select and put your from and then you put your everything. Like you are not running it doesn't mean you don't write a correct answer or you don't write a correct query.
Okay.
Yes.
Hallelujah. The network is up.
Okay, so select all. That asterisk stands for all. Make sure you take note.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, teacher. We are learning. We are learning from you.
From customers. Then, when name like.
So I want to search for my name now. Like those ID start with my name start with ID. How will I search for it?
Okay, so ID percentage. What's percentage? Okay. ID percentage. Something like that.
Then is that all?
Okay, your parenthesis. You close it.
Which one are you closing? Let me see.
And you now put your ID.
Okay. Then what again? How will you end it? How do you end queries in Postgres?
Semicolon.
Yeah, sure.
Then you now highlight it like this. And you now run it.
Yeah, sure. Then if you want to search for Yes.
I thought when the percentage is at the end, it's search for the end of the name or something.
No, it was a mix-up.
It was a mix-up.
We have corrected it.
I said it now. My network was bad. I didn't hear anything at that point.
Yeah, when the percent. Sorry. Wait, what did you say again?
When
What
the
did you write? Is
percentage
it your
is
ID
under,
percent? What did you write? Is it ID percent?
yes,
Okay,
Yes.
So if it's ID percent, if the percent is after the character, then that means it's for values that
be,
start with
begin, yeah.
begins. But
So
if it is after, probably if you have percent ID, then it's for values that end with ID.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that is that. So if you are looking for a name that has ID somewhere in between the character,
yeah,
like whatever, which name, Sha? I don't know, Bolaji Day, for instance. So I
yeah,
think
sure.
ID somewhere in between. So you can put a percentage before and a percentage after. So it will bring out every name or every character that has ID inside of it.
Yeah,
So
sure.
that is
Sure.
that. Then this one is for when the name ends with ID.
Yeah.
Then if
Then
you use
what if
this on,
you want to search for names like Daniel, Keniel, and Zenian and any stuff that probably starts with any letter followed by IE, and then ends with any letter after it.
okay, you use your underscore, I think.
Yes.
So you type down whatever that character is that you are sure of, so long as it has only one letter before and one letter after the specified character. So for Daniel, I know that there's ANIE between, and then my underscore. So this will bring out the names that have one letter before and one letter after. But if you are going to search for anything that has anything more than one letter after, you have to use your percentage. But this one now, it will bring out any result for Kenyel, Zeniel, like that. So long as it has ANIEL and a letter before and a letter after it. So
Yeah,
the
sure.
same
So
thing.
any other person I want to try?
Somebody's clapping for
I think
me. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. You tried. You know why I actually did this?
she
Why I
has
actually
done
did
well.
this is because
She has
she
done
has
well.
done it. Why I actually did this was because with this now, you when you try to teach people, you might not be perfect, but by learning, by teaching people, you kind of like understand more and then you learn more. And that's one of the reasons why I actually emphasize you writing because
Yeah.
like last year I worked on something and then when I wrote about it on Medium, that was when I actually understood it very, very well. So that I think. So for the man that say when are we close, I don't want the man to come to my house. So thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. So tomorrow is
Uh,
Wednesday. And please, for those if you're interested in the project, please just fill the
uh,
form and then we update the project document today and then send it to you in the night. Most times, why you actually see my update in the night because that's when I actually do a lot of stuff. I kind of do a lot of stuff in the night. Yeah, so thank you very much, Kibre, fellow Jitsa, Florence. When are we closing? Antoinette
Thank
and
you, thank
Addison.
you, thank you.
Yeah, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye, people. Thank you, Tutor. Thank you, Joy.
bye bye.
Good night.